Welcome to the Art Project. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like notifications of future videos, please tap the bell. It is super hot. I am currently in my studio, which has an air conditioning, but if you are not running it, it immediately gets hot. The insulation, like I just recently had it insulated, but it is apparently not the best insulation, because I just turned my air conditioner off a minute ago so that I could do this video, do this sound, and it has gotten hot. I am in South Mississippi, and it is already super hot. It's the beginning of June, and I think it's probably close to 100 degrees outside, if not 100 degrees. And I have no idea what we're going to do in August. It is a scorcher. Anyway, as long as the air conditioner is on, my studio is nice and cool, and I've been able to do some figure drawing lately. So I went to onair.com, found a picture of this guy sort of twisted and torqued, his muscles quite obvious, and so I did some drawing, figure drawing. The first thing I did was start out with a Loomis kind of head structure, and I don't always do this. Usually I try and draw like the whole framework of the body, but in this picture I just started building up shapes. Like I looked at shapes and tried to get shapes in proportion to other shapes. So this is not necessarily the best way to do figure drawing, but this is just kind of the way I started it out. This particular sketchbook I am getting tired of, because it is, the pages are not great. Like, it's a good sketchbook, but you can't do a lot of wet media in it, like watercolor or ink. It just bleeds right through. And so for that reason, I'm kind of aggravated with the sketchbook. I don't even always do a whole lot of wet media in my sketchbook, but just knowing it is kind of like aggravating me a little bit. So I decided to kind of rush through this book. And the way I like to rush through a sketchbook is by doing a lot of practice in it. Just practice all the time. Haven't done it enough to really get through the book good, but I'm about halfway, and I'm going to start cranking out some more practice stuff. I'm just going to start drawing, whether I want to draw or not. I'm just going to crank out some, and it's really good for me, I guess, to have a sketchbook that I don't like, because it forces me to work more and draw more so I can get through the sketchbook and buy a new one. So once I got the figure drawn out, I started cross-hatching with a Sharpie pen, and I've told you all this before, but I basically go for the darkest places first, and I keep working my way around, just building it up and building it up. You can always add more lines to make it darker, but you can't take it away. So I'm usually rather cautious as I'm laying these lines down. But at the same time, you have to just kind of jump in there, because the drawing's not going to do itself. So don't be afraid of it. Jump in. If you make a mistake, it's okay, because it's usually just one line out of thousands of lines that you make on the paper. So that one mistake's not going to stand out too much. Jump right in there and go. But work a little bit here and then work a little bit there, and build the lines up slowly, and get darker and darker. Another thing to remember is, like, you really can't get too dark. One of my favorite artists, I've also said this before, I think, one of my favorite artists is Alberto Giacometti, and his pictures are so dark, almost creepy looking, which creepy looking is okay. I mean, to me it's okay. If you're looking for a real beautiful picture, then you might not want to build the lines up so much. But if you're okay with creepy, which I am, then build the lines up and build the lines up, and it gives it a sense of drama. Take a little swig of water here. So yeah, just go for it. Another figure drawing reference site is Croquis Cafe. I use it a lot. to do figure drawing. The way the videos work is they give you like 1 minute and then 2 minutes. Like they have a pose for 1 minute, and then they have another pose for 1 minute, and then they have another pose for 2 minutes, and another pose for 2 minutes, and then another pose for 5 minutes, something like that. And it's basically you start with the first one and you get warmed up, and then you get another warm up, and then you get a slightly longer warm up. Well, that's good, and you should, I believe, when you're starting out especially, go with it like that. Warm up, warm up. But if you get a drawing and you really like where it's going, hit the pause button. Just let it pause, and that way you can take as long as you like on one particular picture. Croquis Cafe is a really good website, a really good YouTube channel for figure drawing photo reference. This guy proved to be a little bit difficult because the ribs were showing, and there were highlights and shadows that were like a labyrinth. It was very challenging, especially and even around like the neck area. If you look at his neck and his face, he had such a cut face. I mean, like cheekbone showing, and chin and neck and all this. And so like I said, it was really challenging. I think my drawing skills are getting better though because of this. I read, I think it was in Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, that if you can draw a face, you can draw just about anything. And maybe it didn't say it quite like that, but it was similar. If you can draw a face, then you can do just about anything. So if you're starting out drawing, if you're just now learning how to draw, go for the face. Like, that's where you should start. Really, all of drawing is the same. It doesn't matter whether you're drawing a face, or whether you're drawing a pencil, or whether you're drawing a coffee mug. You're looking at your object, you're holding a single curve, a single line, a single edge of that object in your mind, and then you're putting that on the paper. So that doesn't matter whether you're doing a coffee mug or somebody's face. So do somebody's face. Take some pictures of your friends, or find some magazines with faces in them, or go to croquiscafe.com, Croquis Cafe, youtube.com/Croquis Cafe, or onair.com, and find some. They've even got faces, so you can just look at faces and do faces. But anyway, don't shy away from doing the figure. I didn't do the whole thing here. I just kind of wanted to focus on these main muscles and main parts. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and it's your turn to go do some art.